Hello, and welcome to another edition of Eldritch Mythos. We are here again to discuss another interesting cryptid, this time, the Ahool. That's correct. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Ahool.
The Ahool. I want to make sure sit there and mispronounce it.
Ahool? A jewel?
The Ahool.
Oh.
Just the same bat. It's just picture like this flying thing now with glasses on.
And his backwards cap on and everything.
And he's got the smile.
Finger
guns.
Oh.
So what is this? What does this thing look like?
The Ahool, first off, got its name from the screech he made, as described by Dr. Ernest. Dr. Ernest.
It's okay.
We'll put it in the story.
Yeah.
Yes,
we'll more information on that later.
Yeah, he was a naturalist trying to explore the island of Java when this giant bat creature came out of somewhere, flew overhead, and it let out this giant screech that can only be described as a long, like, Ahool type deal.
Hence the name.
Hence the name.
Ah.
It has been sighted only twice, once in 1925 and once in 1927. The first time it was near a waterfall, and second time was near a river in the west region of Java. So this giant bat creature was said to it was said to have the height of, they say, like around a 1-year-old child, which I'm guessing it's roughly like a yard, so 3 feet, probably like 2.5 feet. It is also said to have a wingspan either from like 12 to 18 feet. It is a rather large bat compared to other, like, actually known and catalog bats, such as the flying fox. But it is said to have a resemblance more closely towards the orange batty. It is said to have red skin on its wings. It is also said to have gray fur along its body. And I'm guessing a short snout, like that of a bat.
So, okay. I was going to say, like, is it like a long snap? Never mind, you said it.
No. It is said to be more of a bat creature, and it's also, so I'm guessing, like a short, like, snout, like other bats would make sense. And it is also said to have, like, a long, thin crest on its head.
So down the center, like this, or?
Like a mohawk almost?
Perhaps. I'm not too sure about that detail. I've seen artist renditions of it having more of a, like a horn type deal, but it is really up to debate. Both times, Dr. Ernest said that it let out this long screech.
It was him both times.
Yeah, he cited them both times, but after the second time, he was he said he was gonna, like, catalog all these encounters, but there hasn't really been any other encounters since then.
So do you think it's gone due to either time or deforestation, or?
If I were to guess, if it was a real bat and not just the imagination of Dr. Ernest, if it really was a
live thing,
an actual bat, I would have to say it's it probably either migrated or it died off. Because nowadays, in present time, the island of Java has been more than modernized, and there has been a lot of deforestation and a lot of modernization. This island, in particularly alone, is one of the most densely populated islands in the world, with a population of 124 million.
Wow.
Okay.
So yeah, if this bat did exist, it is long gone. either because it died off and couldn't adapt to its new surroundings, or it migrated somewhere else.
Where would you think it could migrate to, if it did do that?
I would have to say nearby islands that also have very
Similar.
very similar climate. So there has been there has been accounts of sightings of other large bat-winged creatures, such as the ones in Malaysia called the ropen, but those have more of a primate, like a chimp face than a bat face.
Okay.
But they are similar in
every other
size
aspect.
and aspect, and yeah. But if it really was an actual like live species of giant bat, it would have to be some sort of leftover ancestor type of bat that probably whose evolutionary branched off from like a common bat ancestor, and they probably all mostly died off due to how fast our climate is changing due to human interference. So a lot of deforestation, a lot of whether you believe it or not, but there is like global warming. So our environment is definitely changing. So if these ancient creatures are really out there, they're probably having a really hard time trying to adapt. So these cryptids, these giant bat cryptids, if they are real, then there's some offshoot of bat, and they're probably dying off at this point.
So you're saying that they are like an offshoot from regular bats? They're just like sharing a common ancestor.
Right. It's probably like a different like species or just genome of bat entirely.
Right. Okay.
So like similar to that of like the wolf, and then the other breeds of dogs that we have now.
Yeah.
I think
So like
that's
a wolf or a domesticated dog, or domesticated cats and large cats like a tiger or a lion or.
The Simbas.
Yeah. Or how like European horses are not the same as like zebras, for example, but they look alike, but they're not, or so on and so forth.
Right.
Yeah.
But they have a common ancestor somewhere in the
Right.
the
lineage.
Yeah, and probably these these different type of giant bats that have different descriptions are probably they probably adapted to their very particular environment. I guess the best example I could say is that primates in Africa, like the gorilla or great apes, like the gorilla, the orangutan, and the chimpanzee, that all live in Africa, don't have tails. But all the small primates here in the Americas, like the marmoset or some other monkey, the capuchin, they all have tails. So I'm guessing these different like faces or size and wingspan or different like colors of fur and all that is just evolutionary traits that they took on based on their particular environment.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
If they exist to begin with.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to find a sighting of that though.
Yeah.
A new sighting of the.
A new sighting. It'd be scary, but it'd be very interesting to try to capture it.
Well, I mean, what would you like a giant black thing flying at you in the middle of the night, the size of a small child, coming directly at your face?
Nah, I'm good. I've seen man bat. Thank you very much. I'm good.
Man bat.
Yeah, man bat.
It's an experiment gone wrong. But anyway.
Just as scary.
Yeah. But anyway. Okay. Well. So. Yeah, it might have died out. It may have moved on. It's very possible that even sightings of these other bat-like creatures in other places of the world, due to its time frame and whatnot, considering that it was first sighted before TVs and whatnot, and movies were just barely getting started and everything. So information didn't spread as quickly.
So right after the industrial era, but before the modern era.
Yeah, pretty much. So it could have moved on really quickly after that because it's been almost 100 years, and it could be another sighting that was seen in the 50s or something in a different location, and maybe that particular sighting of the Ahool had a horn, but maybe it's young didn't. Who knows?
Right.
It could have just been a weird mutation or defect or
deformity,
or maybe that one was male and the females don't have horns.
True.
Perhaps.
It could be a lot of those things. If it didn't move on and just didn't die out due to climate or human or natural change or whatever.
It's not much information we have.
No, this one
categorized.
This one is definitely a little more low key. I mean, it's in part of the fact that you've only officially seen it twice.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is you said you said before we were discussing it. Yeah, that
hearsay and stories that parents tell the children to scare them into doing whatever.
So bedtime stories.
Yeah, one of them.
Lessons.
One of them in particular is that if they misbehave or they're out in the night too long, these giant bats will come and take your soul. Stuff
really,
like
a fool just passed by in that helicopter.
Yeah, it learned it.
It's learning. It's become self-aware.
The Mothman is the wingman.
The wingman.
Co-pilot.
That's even funnier because helicopters don't have wings.
Okay, we're done.
The show's over. We lost all credibility. But yeah, it could be any of those possibilities, and it really could be dead if it is an older thing that just couldn't adapt. So it really just depends. But anyways, all that and more information is going to be in the story in the coming days.
Yep.
So thank you all for joining us for this particular discussion group meeting. Next week we'll be doing ghost stories.
Yeah, ghost
like
sightings,
like haunted area things.
If anything, we'll probably get more ghost stories than anything else, considering this Spooktober. So we have the next 2 weeks. We'll probably just be giving off our favorite stories that we've heard or maybe have encountered from other people.
We're gonna send Iggy out to a graveyard to spend 5 hours in the middle of the night.
Hey demons,
it's your boy.
He's not saying no. So.
I know, he's probably just thinking about it, being like, should I be scared or excited? Yep, there it is.
Oh, thank you, everyone.
Thank you all for watching. Everyone. Make sure to like our video, subscribe to us, and hit the bell icon so you can get an update on when we post that next video. Anything else?
That should be it.
All right, well, thank you all again. We'll see you next time.
Good night.